And a one fish, two fish. And a one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. One fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. One fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. Okay, I think that's going to be fine for the camera. I'm trying to get the fine for the camera. I'm trying to get. That reminds me. Let's check YouTube. Probably okay. YouTube is still minutes behind. Should be better. Okay. YouTube is still minutes behind. All right, YouTube is good. Twitch is good. Yo, Leo, DJ Ray in the house, and I say CS Bond here. All right, Savannah outfit almost done. I'm going to do a couple of things on it, then we're going to go work on the Sinbad outfit. And then I have to figure out other outfits to make. I'm thinking fantasy outfits or showgirl outfits. Those have been the kind of what I'm probably going to work on next after Sinbad. Anyhow, I have to finish doing the HMAT files. I have to make, you know what? I need tattered mat files. So let's knock that out first. For that, we're going to need Substance Painter. We're going to add our distressed tattered textures to this. Then we're going to make some opacity. Then we'll make the thumbnails for that. I still have to finish cleaning up the D4 settings. We have the defaults set, so I just have to make the versions for the pull and the offs, and then we have to make thumbnails for that. I've got these all set up for Genesis 8, the hierarchical material files. They're kind of tedious, so I'm going to force you to watch me do that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these. I have to redo them for Genesis 9. These won't work for Genesis 9 just because they have things on rigid follow nodes, and that means it's on specific parts of the body. So something's like on a lower abdomen on Genesis 8. It ends up on like spine 2 on Genesis 9. And then the HMAT won't be able to work with that. So here, let's do this. Let's open this up. I'm going to copy this. We're going to rename this. We're just going to use the same thumbnails because we're lazy. But it also acts as a guide. These will work a little bit on Genesis 9. So, you know what? I'm looking, there's a copy right there, right? Let's come over here. I'm going to do these later. We're just going to move these thumbnails over now. Then we're going to pop into Substance. I'm all over the place today. Also, I'm running a little late, so sorry about that. All right, this looks good. We're going to rename Genesis 8 to Genesis 9. Use the good old rename with Power Renamer. And we're just going to say G8 female. Nope, it's on the end, so we don't put a space there. And then we're just going to say G9. Let's make sure I don't have a space there. Looks good. Apply. Now I just have to overwrite these. So that part is done and ready to go. I thought I launched Substance. I guess not. So let's make the, let me open up my thumbnail file. Savannah thumbnails. Yeah, we'll do that while Substance is opening up too. Because you can never have too many programs running at the same time and be streaming. Here we go, Savannah outfit. We'll get that open and we'll get the distressed, we'll get the rips and tears. And we're going to apply tatters to the edges, I think. The sleeves rolled over, so I'm not going to tatter the edges of those. Actually, they're all cuffed. I think I'm going to put a little bit of a tatter on the bottom of the shirt. We'll fray that. But because the sleeves are rolled and the pants are cuffs, I normally would tatter an edge, but it's because it's a flipped over edge, it doesn't really make sense to do that. At least that's my thought process on it. Open recent. Did I not? I thought I did this already. Oh well. I have a whole bunch of, I bought a merchant resource with rips and tears that are tileable from Renderosity. So I use that to kind of give me the basic distressed look as I tend to include on all my products. Oh, it doesn't exist anymore. That's right, because I renamed the directory. Wah, wah, wah. I renamed the directory because I moved everything into the final testing directory. So I break the name by putting a little hyphen on it. Now Daz can't find it anymore. And neither can Substance. Here, let's do by date modified. 4-3. That sounds like it's pretty close. All right, is good. Last thing I did was darken up my olive texture because I thought it was a little light looking. I might darken up my blue too. No, I'm not going to. Never mind. Also, I added wrinkles. I think my wrinkles came out well. Anywho, right up here, I'm going to pull in my, I think it's, did I just say tatter? 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 And right in there, I've got my CC Torn and Tattered. We just dump that on like that. We're only going to tatter the shirt, the shorts, and also the socks. I'm going to ignore the belt. So when we save out these, we're going to not apply it to the belt. Because I think it always looks weird. Especially since it has kind of a weave pattern to my tatters. We'll switch over to opacity so we can see what we're doing. Okay, I'm going to hide that one because I decided I don't like that anymore and I'm never going to use it. I'm just going to randomly choose a couple of these patterns. Then we're just going to make them smaller. And they'll probably be different sizes so I can kind of get two things going on. Usually if I go past 3, 3, it looks like it might work on that one. And then this one maybe about 2. And I'm going to tile that so it's not sitting right in the crotch. Or we'll do the offset. Well, the other one's got one right in the crotch, so I'm going to try to move that. So we'll just do the same thing with that. We'll just take the offsets and slide those around till I'm happy with it. Maybe something like that. I think that'll do the trick. So we're just going to save the opacity. Oh, I wanted to tear the edges up. So I'm going to run, there's the pen tool for that. We'll do a paint layer. We'll grab the pen tool and over here under apparel, there's this fabric edge wear. It's kind of cool. And so I'm just going to run you through right along this edge here. We're going to set that to multiply later on. So we're just going to distress the edge a little bit, like so. I'm also going to distress the edge of the ties a little bit. If I can get good coverage on those, to just kind of bring you into there. I'm getting a little bit. We're going to tweak settings on this. So over here for opacity, we're going to just set that to multiply. So now that the pattern, so it's combining with, instead of blocking off. Also, I'm getting this little weirdness here. That has to do with the projection depth, so we'll take that back a little bit. Maybe a little bit further. Maybe even further. That was too far. I'm not quite. See, I'm getting some weirdness here, so I'm probably going to move this out into there. Maybe up a bit. Still getting a little. See, that's too much now. It's not even projecting onto the. I think 0.0001. I think 0.01 is as far as I can. What does that do? think I actually need you to be 0.0002, 0.02. And if I see little bugaboos like that, we'll just pop in. No, maybe it's better. I'm getting a little bit there, but I am the only one that knows it's there. And what are you set on? Are you set on? I don't think I have a control. I don't know if I can set this like UV. I don't believe there's an option for that. I think projection depth, because I'm getting goofiness here. I can probably just mask that off. So if we just add like a white mask, and then if I paint black in there, that might block it out. So we're going to set that to UV. I'm going to make you harder. Are you set to black? You are set to black. So I should be able to just touch that up. And then come over here and I can kind of touch that up. I think I'm going to live with that. All right, I need to fix that right there. That I think I can just, I need the pen tool, right? Pen tool, select you, grab that, and it's doing nothing. There it goes. I think that's going to be good for my tatters. Let me tweak this. Is that the, no, yours, this one. I think I'll just do that. All right, I think that's going to be good. And how are the socks looking? You know what? I'm just going to leave the socks like that. Probably okay. I got a little bit of goofiness in here. You know what? I think I'm maybe. We're fine. We're fine. Which one are you on? Of course, you're that one. Let's see if we can. Actually, I want to just maybe bring that down a hair. I think that's going to be good. I'm going to live with that. Control Shift E. We're going to export out our opacity map. Going to open up the old output directory. We're going to call you Tatter. And that should be good. All right. I'm going to catch you. I'm going to catch you. There we go. And you're currently sitting over in test 7. Outfit. We'll just drop you off in here. Okay, we're now going to save it. I have special shaders and things to do that. Okay, you are this thing over here. So I'm going to hide you. I'm going to bring this thing up here. This is just an OBJ with all the outfit material files. We're going to put this special default shader on here, and then I can just change the opacity map, and it makes it a lot easier just to save a specific map. So this shader basically sets all these materials to be a default value. So what I can do is then go in and just change a couple, and then when I save, I can say save only modified, and it just focuses in on the ones I only changed and ignores everything else, mostly. I've got some simulation data in here that's kind of screwed up. That's easy to clean out. So we're going to, actually I have to do that in surfaces. So this is basically the shirt and the pants and the socks all combined into one OBJ, so I can make a map file that will work with all three. So we apply our special shader. Okay, so we want, you know what, we're not going to save the belt, but I don't care about it, so I can just ignore that. I'm just going to come over here to cut out opacity. So we have changed that. There should be a generic opacity map in here somewhere. You'll be back in a minute. Need to go clean up. All right. Catch you later, Charles. Actually, I only need opacity for two things, one of which is the belt, which we're going to ignore. So I'm just going to make sure the opacity map is on the short zipper. Somewhere in here is outfit opacity. There we go. So that's the default setting. So we're going to save this. I'm going to turn off my content management system so we can save faster. Stop CMS. We do this the smart way because the fast way breaks things. At least it has for me in the past. Okay, that's done. We're going to save you as a material preset. You're going to be Savannah 00. 00 opacity default, and then we'll just come over here, right click and check only the modifieds, and I don't have anything in simulation settings, so I can just save it like this. So that's only changing the opacity settings. And that should be done. So now we can come back to surfaces. Oh, you know what? I gotta blend these two opacity maps together on tatters. So here, let's open that up with Photoshop. Also, everything's at 8K. I'm going to fix that. I should resize everything to 4K, except I'm going to leave the displacement map at 8K. All right, file, open MIT, Photoshop. And then what I want to do is I want to combine it with this. So I'm going to open this up and then we'll just multiply. Okay, so there is that. Photoshop is, of course, taking over the whole screen. Okay, I can see the whole thing, so I can just drag and drop this like that. I'm just going to come over here and say multiply. And then we're just going to flatten this and resave it as the tatter. And can I just hit save on that? Yep. All right, that's good. I don't need Photoshop anymore, so I'll just go ahead and close that. All right, back here into this thing. You know what? I accidentally saved this with the belts. We got to resave it. Doe, you can go over there. All right, we're going to do the resave. Material preset. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. We're going to check only all modified. And I'm going to uncheck the 5 materials I want for the belts. So I'm not changing anything on the belts. Okay, now we're going to come back into here. And we're going to put that tattered map on everything. If we can remember where there's our cutout opacity right there. So here's our tattered map. Just going to drag and drop that into there. Should be good. Got all our wear and tear now. So we're going to save that as a material preset. And I'm going to do this, and this is just going to be tattered. Opacity tattered. And once again, we're just going to check only all modifieds. Just a quick peek shows me that all we've got checked is the opacities. And we're not going to save the belt parts, so we'll just uncheck all of those. Belts get their own map files separate from the rest of this. Just because I want to be able to mix and match belt colors. And the belt's part of the shorts, so. Is this good? I think this is good. All right, let's make thumbnails for this. You know what I'm going to do? No, I'm going to leave it like this so you can see the socks. And you know the socks are part of this. And we'll just apply the white texture to this. Oh, that was a hierarchical material file. That's what the whining was about. Hey, this isn't the right thing for this file. Hierarchical material file has to be applied to a specific type of figure. All right, we're good with that. I'm just going to make this generic gray. And then we're going to apply our two opacities and render thumbnails from those. Oh no. Where did I save all of that stuff? You should be right. Oh no, I saved you over here, didn't I? I did. You're in the wrong folder. I'll move you over here. There we go. All right, that is selected. If I do the tatter, if good, if I do the, there we go. All right, let's render you. Is good. I am in my promos. We want to go over to projects. And we're working out of test 7 today. And people and Genesis 8 and clothing and me and Savannah and materials and that one right there is the one we are updating. That actually we're rendering the tip file. And then we'll do this and then we'll render the. Did I not hit Control R? I may have hit Control E by accident. I have no idea what Control E does. Okay, is good. Save. Over that. Is good. All right. Back in materials. That's G9. That's G8. We're going to make the thumbnails from these now. So we're going to resize these to 91 by 91. Resize successful. Now we got to rename those because they have the resizer just makes up its own kind of names, and I have to change them to something specific anyhow. So I have these patterns, they're still in the buffer here, so we're just going to do that. So I'm going to swap out this. So I think it had tip in it, and this is the name of the template I'm using, Duff. So I'm going to swap that so it sticks that stuff on the ends that I don't need, and I need to just say Duff. Should be good. All right, let's come back over here, do a little refresh. Yay, my materials are officially done. All right, we'll copy and paste. We'll get a copy of these over to the Genesis 9 directory. Right in here is good. So that takes care of the tattered map. So we're done with substance for now. Moving right along. D-Force presets. You know what? Let's get those knocked out. Let me hit save on my thumbnail. What do we got sitting in this scene? So I don't want that. I think we'll use. Are you wearing stuff? You are wearing stuff, and you're already black. Excellent. So we're going to So I'm going to save four more of these. We have our default settings for the shorts, and then we're going to save a version where it's completely 100% deforced. So we have like certain values to make certain parts like the collars and the cuffs stiffer and the little knot. So kind of is deforced, but will hold its shape somewhat. So we're gonna set you up for, did I click on the hat? I did. I'm gonna hide these elements and get rid of that canteen. And I'm gonna actually hide the shorts for now. And I'm gonna just lose the buttons for now. There's 4 buttons on here. One's real and the other 3 are instances. All right, we're gonna make you that generic gray color. And then what we're going to do, I don't think I've got female, I don't know if I've got female dialed in. I don't think I do. Let's dial in the female shape. There we go. All right, we're going to set the D4 settings on this. We're just going to put everything at 1. And is my bend stiffness good? Bend stiffness 0.1. Excellent. Remember to do that. So we're just going to set this all at 1. I'm not using any contraction or expansion, so that's good. So this is all. So if I were to get this character out here, the whole thing would just fall dynamically. Right now, it won't do that like this. Anyhow, let's save that. Also, let's rename you before I forget. We're going to call that Savannah instead of AO. That's just the simulation settings. It tweaks the simulation settings to be a little bit better than the defaults. Simulation setting best Savannah. I want that. No, that's good. That's good. Yep. Daz doesn't like exclamation points at the very beginning of things. So I am saving. So this is just a material preset. I just hit the wrong button. I wanted to hit this one. I'm going to say material preset. And we're going to say full. And we're just going to check only simulation settings and accept that. And that should be done already. All right, now we're going to set this to be not dynamic. I don't know, maybe this isn't designed to be not dynamic, but if you want to do that, knock yourself out. I'm going to make sure, I'm going to bend it and clean up the weight maps just a little bit on these objects, but I'm not going to knock myself out making a whole bunch of CBN, corrective body shapes and things to get this to work right. So it turned the dynamic strength to 0. So the wrestling out was a case with that. It works pretty well without you being deforced, but I've designed it to be deforced because, it shrinks it down a little bit and it helps it fit different shapes easier that way. Anyhow, I think we're good to go. I think I have turned off my deforce. So here, let's do, I'm not even sure I got the right thing selected anymore. There we go. Let me make sure I have, and let me just double check. Right there, it does say 0. Excellent. So we're going to save that as a material preset. Right there. And this is going to just say off. And once again, we just check here and check only simulation settings. Excellent. All right, let me do that. Let's run a simulation with the default on. right, we're going to render that as a tip file. All right, you are good. I'm going to save you over into here. And that's going to replace that one right there. All right, let's do off. Yo, Sacred Sage, how you doing, buddy? All right, let's run this. This should tell me it won't run. There we go. Because we turned the D-Force off, and there's nothing else in here that's D-Forced. So that one worked. You're going to render a thumbnail of that. Kick it. Been busy, dude. I see you streaming occasionally, but I usually catch it after you're gone. This is a Pulp Safari outfit. These are like the final little touches. The final touches are I'll often tweak the D-Force settings while doing the promos. All right, that's good. Did I save you? I did. I did not. I did the thumb. We're going to save this. I'm going to overwrite that thumbnail or that tip file right there. Okay, now we're just put full on. And for full, I'm going to pop a little plane here into the scene. We're going to hide this. I'm going to unparent the shirt. And this should fall to the ground if it's working right. March Madness is finally over. It's finally over? They have champions? I thought they were down to the final four. You get to spend the next... I wouldn't even pay attention to March Madness this year, to tell you the truth. Am I good? No, I am unparenting this. It is good. All right, I'm going to roll the camera back so you can see the ground. Yeah, it's only still going for those people who managed to pick teams in the final four, right? All right, simulate. Ideally, this should just drop. And that's the 100%. It just goes like a freaking pancake. Here, we'll just zoom in. Back up just a little bit. You only bought the last week, probably only spent 3 to... Okay, we're going to hide that plane and we're going to render this. There you go. That's the tip file for D-Force Full for the shirt. So we're going to overwrite that one. Say yes. Okay. You I don't care about anymore, so we're going to go back to Genesis. Everything showed up. I just want the shorts. You know, these are the shorts that come undone. I'm going to use the shorts that don't come undone. Oh, by the way, check out the Morse on these shorts, baby. Where's the? Can I ever find a pair of shorts? It's got a belt, and the belt comes undone. How fancy is that? You can open up the pants, so there's a belt still attached. That should have a color on it. I'll have to tweak that. So anyhow, that's the undone version. Oops. I didn't want to delete you. I just want to delete these shorts. I'm happy with it. It does the trick. This is Genesis 9. I need the Genesis 9 shorts. There's the Genesis 9 shorts that don't come undone. And there's our belt buckle. There's our compass. The compass opens up. Look at that. Isn't that a beautiful compass? And we have a canteen. And the cap comes off. And the cover is separate from the canteen. Anyhow, I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to hide that. I didn't go too crazy. If I was going crazy, there would probably be a gun and a knife and a machete and a whip. Just use the whip out of one of my other outfits. I have a gun in another outfit too. Use that. Anyhow, this is what I want because we're making. It's exactly what this is. It's a jungle safari outfit. Oops. Let's select you and apply. I'm going to undo this in a second, but we got our boots, we got our socks, we got our shorts with a canteen and a compass. We have our pith helmet. And of course we got our ever so practical crop tied top. Just the perfect thing for giving leeches clean access to your body. I'm going to undo that. We're going to go back to finishing the shorts. We're doing the D4 settings for the shorts. We're setting up the presets for this. I'm going to do this. We're going to turn the shorts gray for the thumbnail. I have to do the hierarchical material presets for Genesis 9 still. So you'll get to see all the colors unless you fall asleep. There's a good chance you'll fall asleep. Anyhow, where are we? I'm in the wrong folder. I want to be in this folder. I have to rename all of these. Remind me to do that. So I'm just going to turn, for purposes of doing our D-Force presets. So we're going to make sure the default is on. I'm going to simulate that. Oops, that shirt went back. I'm going to cancel that because that shirt, I don't need the shirt. I'm just going to delete that. All right, let's run this again and see. This is also a good way of seeing if I've got any major errors. So that is the shorts with the default. The default holds it kind of in place, but it's still pretty dynamic. It should follow the legs well enough. All right, I'm going to render a thumbnail or tip file for that. Is good. Let's save you. You replace that file there. Okay, now we're going to set up the. So there's two more. There's the everything is completely dynamic setting. So we're just going to come in here and change the dynamic strength to 1 for everything. And make sure that my contraction expansion is 100. So that's good. We'll save that as a material preset. That is full. D4 shorts full. Save that. Check only simulation settings and accept that. Okay, now we're just going to turn the D-Force off. I don't recommend that, but hey, I'm about giving people options. If you want to use it with D-Force off, don't come complaining to me when it doesn't bend quite right. So off, there we go. Once again, check only simulation settings and accept that. Okay, now we're going to, I'm going to put the default back on. I'm just going to run the sim to make sure it's still working. That's all I needed to see, so we'll cancel that. All right, let's put the off on. Let's do that. It should complain that there's nothing to simulate. Excellent. Then when I put the fall on, I usually would just have it fall to the ground and clump into a little pool. So that is off. So we replaced that automatically generated. And now I'm just going to take you and we're going to unfit that. I'm going to pop back over to here. It went back to the base shape instead of the female shape that we got sitting in here. So that's why it looks a little funny right now. All right, let me get my plane in here to catch this when it falls. Back up a little bit, do that, come over here, apply the full preset, and then simulate that. And that dropped. There's also drop morphs in here already, so you don't actually have to do a simulation to get it onto the ground. All right, and then I just hide the plane, and that becomes the tip for that one. Okie dokie. Save that right there. Okay, now we have to generate the small thumbs. I'm going to just widen you up a little bit. Give me a little bit more. So I don't need you. I don't need you. Don't need you. You, and you. You're all garbage. And then we're just going to take these, make small versions, and clean up the names. 91 by 91. And we'll make proper DAZ thumbnail names with these. The resizer adds weird garbage into the name, but it doesn't overwrite the original, which it's fine by me. You can use the resizer to overwrite originals. Okay, so I still got the template that I was using last time. So that should be good. And then we should be able to pop over into here, do a little refresh, see all my beautiful thumbnails with their nice, pretty tip files. And then I'm going to copy all of this. And we'll put this over into the G9 folder as well. D-Force presets, I don't need you. Put those in here. Okay, a couple things I do want to do. These still have the old AOs on them, so we're going to change those. I'll say Savannah. Did I spell Savannah right? Have I been spelling Savannah right? I have the weird feeling I misspelled it somewhere. All right, those are all looking good. I'm going to copy all of that, and we just need to do the same thing over here. So I can either copy or I can just delete and paste. Or I could just rename those. It's easier just to copy and paste. Okay, I think, oh no, I still have to make, only things left are the hierarchical material files for Genesis 9. Those are actually just the Genesis 8 files renamed right now. And then the only thing really left to do is I'm going to clean up some of the joints on these. I'm just going to go in and smooth them out, probably between the legs for the, and between, under the arms. It's D-Force, so they'll work well without it anyhow, but I don't know. I just clean it up a little bit. Just makes it look a little more professional. So this is going to be a little tedious. Yay, tedium. Here, I have a file I started for these. Here, I'm just going to open that up. Do I want to save changes to my thumbnail file? Yes, let's do that. So, like I said, really close. I get those hierarchical material files. The only thing is I'm then going to clean up joints. I'm not going to do that on stream. We'll switch over to working on the Sinbad outfit after I get these hierarchical material files set up. They're a little tweaky. They take a little bit of time to kind of grind through. If I wanted to spend a few more weeks on this, I would add a bag and a knife, maybe even a gun. Like I said, a whip or rope. But I'm not going to spend a couple more weeks on this. And I'm probably going to reuse the canteen at some point. Somewhere down the road, I've got a vision for doing a 1950s, a very generic, very simplistic kind of version of 1950s fighting the ants army soldier. U.S. Army. Oh no, it's a giant tarantula, and they sit there and they just keep shooting, even though it does nothing, until it eats them. No. It's the kind of guy that has to greet the Martians and then get melted by them. No. Anyhow, I've got this all set up. Hoo-yah, yeah. So what we have was we have everything on this character ready to make a hierarchical material file. We have the hat. We have the closed shirt. We have the open shirt is in here as well, along with 2 sets of buttons for each shirt because I need those. We have the undone pants. We have the pants. It includes 2 pairs of canteens, 2 compasses, 2 belt buckles, socks, and boots. So what I have to do is I have to set the materials on all of that and then select this and save it. You know what I don't need? I don't need these eyeballs. They're just going to get in the way, so we're just going to delete out those. So I only have Genesis 9 in here. And what we have in here right now is these are actually the Genesis 8s. They shouldn't work with this. They'll kind of work. Some of the stuff will change, but I expect the compasses and the canteens and the buttons and belt buckles not to change. So if I apply this black, it should mostly change. Oh, actually, it's asking me what I want to apply it to. I should select something. It should mostly change, except for the things that are like parented to stuff. Like the hat, because the hat's attached to a head, but this is a Genesis 9 head. So all the body parts leading to that are named different. So we can't find that anymore because it was made with a Genesis 8. If I didn't have attachments and props parented to stuff, they both would work, but I do. So we have to. And you know what? Actually, the way this works is I can apply that and I can just change the colors on these select things. So the way we're going to do that is I'm just going to kind of, this is actually kind of simple. This is actually going to run a little faster because I can kind of use these to get halfway there. And then I'm just clicking on these to expand them out over here. I need that belt buckle there. And then I need the 2U. And there's another button right there. So these are the things that I'll need changing, and the hat. So I'm going to select all of this stuff. So we select those, the compass, the belt buckle for the undone shorts. This is the button on one of the shirts. So this is the button on the other shirt. So these are the canteen cap and the canteen cover on the closed pants. That is the belt buckle on the closed pants, and that is the compass on the closed pants. And then I need to select the hat. And in order to be able to say this, I have to select that last. And now I just have to go in here and color these. That's fine. Okay. It just looks unfinished, but I did finish it. Okay. So what are we doing? So I'm just going to scroll through here. So the black one, I'm going to use a silver buckle. I'm going to use the black buttons. One of my buckles didn't change colors. Oh, yes, it did. I just couldn't see it. Okay, we're going to make sure the canteen is set to the default. We're going to use the black canteen covers. I'm going to use the silver compasses with those. And we use the black pith helmet. There we go. Then I can come over here and save. I'm just going to save this over this to update it. Hierarchical material preset, black. And I don't want to save that, but we want to save the rest of this. Should be good. All right, done. One down. 15 more to go. This should go faster than it did for the because I don't have to redo the socks and the shorts. Okay, so this one, I've got the silver already going, and I wanted to use the silver with this setup. We want a blue hat. We want blue canteen covers, though. Okay, that's the blue version. Hierarchical material preset, and that is blue. Yes. Don't save that and accept that. Okay, this one is brown and khaki. Brown shorts with khaki tops. Okay, I think I was using the brass buttons. I think I was using the brass belt buckle with that. Okay, I say changed the brass buttons. I'm going to use the brass. Actually, with this one, I used the copper compass. I have it. I might as well use it with something. And I missed the canteen cover. I was going to use the khaki canteen cover. And we're going to use the brown pith helmet. Hey, Chris, do you make an outfit? Didn't you make an outfit one time that looks like a suit there? Raquel Welch. I tried doing that. I was never happy with how it went, so it was kind of got abandoned. I had started that. I was really just not quite, my brain wasn't quite figuring it. I don't know. Maybe at this point I could take another crack at that. But back when I tried it later, it kind of just got abandoned in Marvelous Designer. I need a brown hat. So it never got farther than Marvelous Designer. And I haven't revisited it since. When was that? That was like 3 or 4 years ago, right? Many moons. I think this is good. That's the brown and the khaki. File, hierarchical material preset, brown and khaki. Make sure not to include that. The rest is good. Okay, this is the khaki and brown. It's a lot like brown and khaki, but a little bit different. Okay, I'm using the... Yeah, we're still going to use the brass buckle with that. I'm going to use the tortoiseshell buttons. You happen to think about it because you're in the movie. I was thinking, I had started it, but yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get very... Okay, we're going to put brown canteen covers on that. Did I pass the compasses already? I did not. I'm going to go with the brass compass with that. And I think, oh yeah, we want the khaki hat. And by we, I of course mean me. Hierarchical. That's the royal we. We are not amused. Okay. Yay, moving along. This is the hero texture, olive. It has the olive shorts and the olive top with the olive canteen covers. And then we have the khaki socks with the khaki pith helmet. That is going to use the brass and the brass there. I think the only thing I have to change is I want the olive on the canteen covers. There we go. That's the hero. At least that's my plan, is to make that the hero. It's what the defaults are all saved as. Dum dum dum. Hierarchy material preset. Olive. Yes. Uncheck. Accept. All right. Pink. Okay, so pink has some white highlights. I'm going to use the brass buttons. We need a pink cat. I'm going to use the pink. I put white on the canteen covers because I thought it made a nice little contrast. I was going to use the gold with that. So here, let's go get those. So we're going to use the gold belt buckles. I'm going to use the brass buttons because I didn't make gold buttons. So we're going to just go with the brass. I was going to use the white. I do have pink for canteen covers, but I kind of liked the white and the pink look. I did want to use the gold compass with that. And I think, oh yeah, and the pink hat. All right, that's the pink. Okay, red. So the changes from the pink to the red are, I think I've got brass here. I think I wanted to use the brass on the red. I think the only thing I need to change the hat and the canteen covers. And I'm just going to make the canteen covers red. We're just going to make the pith helmet. The pith helmet red. And that's the red set. We don't actually have red boots. I skipped that. I don't know. I wasn't feeling red boots. I wasn't feeling the blue belt boots either. I think I did do olive and pink boots though. Red. There we are. Is good. Except that should be fine. And then white. And I'm matching silver with the white. And we use the ivory buttons. And we use the white canteen cover. Did I already? I think I missed the belt buckle. Yeah, I want the silver belt buckle. And I want to use the silver compass. I have steel compasses, but I didn't actually use it with one of the HMATs. And we need the white hat. Okay, those are all the clean versions. Now we got to do the 8 dirty versions. Okay, dirty black. I call it worn. And so black had a silver buckle, so we used the worn black. Oh yeah, we can change the canteen to the worn versions now. We have the worn black canteen cover. That was a silver compass, so we use the worn silver on that. And the worn black hat. There's the black version. Overwrite that. Because I copied all the Genesis 8 folders, I kind of have placeholders and then just renamed 8 to 9. So this way I don't have to read. I already have these just waiting for me to fill them in. Uncheck you. Accept that. Boom, boom. Okay, blue. It's a lot like the black, except canteen covers and hat, I think. I'm going to put the blue, dirty blue, not that you can really tell the difference. And the dirty blue hat looks an awful lot. When it gets dirty, they all start to look the same. It's the subtle difference. Hierarchy material preset. Warm blue. We're down to the last 6. Okay, this is the browning khaki. Okay, so for that, we are using the worn brass buckle, the worn brass buttons, the worn khaki canteen cover, the worn brass compasses, and the worn brown hat. I'm pretty sure that's a worn brown hat. Yeah, that's a brown hat. Okay. Hierarchical material preset. Brown and khaki. Okay, then khaki and brown. Oh, I was going to use the copper compasses with that. That's right. I was using the copper compasses with the brown shorts. Let's make the worn copper. There we go. This was my excuse to use the copper compasses. It's one of those things. I thought it was a cool color, but I didn't have an idea what to actually use it with. All right. Okay, from brown and khaki to khaki and brown. So for this, I think that should still be the worn brass. And I was using the tortoiseshell button, so we'll use the worn tortoiseshell on that. We're going to use the worn brown on the canteens. That's the brass compass that goes with this one, so we'll use worn brass with that. And we're going to use the worn khaki hat. And that's khaki and brown done. Okay, we're down to the last ones. The worn olive. I think most of this is good, except that I gotta change the buttons to... Actually, I think I was using the tortoiseshell buttons on this. And I'm pretty sure I already had the brass buckles on there. And we're gonna use the worn olive canteen covers and the worn olive pith helmet. There we go. Three more to go. Okay, pink. And we were offsetting pink with white for contrast. So in this case, no, I was using gold. I was actually using the gold with the pink. Worn gold. There we go. And we're using the brass buttons. And I was actually using the white canteen cover with the pink outfit. And we used the worn gold compasses and the worn pink pith helmet. Red also uses the gold belt buckles and the gold compass. So worn red. And it actually has like the brown. So I don't think I got to touch up those. That's too easy. So I need the worn red canteen cover and the worn red hat. Warren red is done. And for this, I just got to make sure everything's set and warm. Okay, I was using silver on the compasses. And we're using silver, so worn silver on the belt buckle. Worn ivory on the buttons. This is also using worn white on the canteen covers and worn silver on the compass. Hey, thanks for being here, Sage. Take care, man. It was good to see you. And worn white on the hat. I think we're good. Hopefully I didn't screw this up and have to do it all over again. It gets a little easier. I mean, then I can just focus on fixing one thing. And there we go. This should be the last of the user-facing things to do. There we go. All my directories are done. All my shaders are finished. My hierarchical poses are done. All our D-Force presets are set up. Materials are completely finished. And we've got all our parts and thumbnails set up. So the only thing I'm probably going to do, and I'll do this a little later, is just tweak the weight maps on the thighs and the shoulders. And then I have to start making promos for this. So is good. I'm going to save you, Mr. H. Mats, in case I need to redo some of you when I find out I've made mistakes or something. And we're going to work on the Sinbad outfit now for an hour and a half or so. I was not happy with how the collar was fighting me when I last looked at it. I felt like I had it, and then the collar just went to shit, and now it won't go back. I'm so sad. If I can wrangle that into shape, I don't know if we'll get to the sword tonight or not, or today. And I'm still going to do boots. So I need new boots. I need a sword. And I'm thinking about a turban. But right now I'm still wrestling with the main outfit. And I want a vest, but I'm regretting it already. Waiting for Marvy to load up. Come on, Marv. There we go. Let's do that. I don't know why you open up like that. Freaking insane piece of software. Can I grab you and just stick you back over there? Clean you up just a little. Like so. File open. This probably should be in recents, right? No, it wasn't. I was making tons of special morphs the other day. There's Sinbad. I originally made this for, but it never got very far. So there was a copy that kind of got set up for Genesis 8 male. So I made good progress. I'm super happy with how the sash is coming along, but my collar's fighting me, so I'm leaning towards redoing the collar in some sort of way. I think I'm just going to reshape it so it fits that curve better. And what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to put a little stand up in here too. Just a little piece of that'll go around and get it to stand up a little better. Other than that, I have to line up this onto UV maps too. So that's what we got in store today. So we're going to get the collar fixed, then we're going to get the vest back in here. I'm thinking that's going to determine the size of my boots. Or maybe I'll pull these up on the calves a little bit. Anyhow, let's work on this. Are you split, by the way? Or are you just... You're connected. Okay. I'm just going to Control F that. I'm going to reshape. I'm just going to kind of line that up on top and eyeball it into a better curve that goes around. So my plan is to pull these in so they line up better, and then we'll try not to change the lengths too much. We'll just take a measurement there. 202.8 is my target measurement. So I'm going to pull you out this way, and I want to take this over into here and leave that at 202.8. I think I'm going to move it, and then we'll tweak the curve a little bit. So that actually says 202.8 right there. I think we're going to take that in even further. That's 202.1. That's probably as good as I'm going to get on that. I'm going to adjust this. Can I just extend you, change length? Like so. Bring you out into here and tweak that shape. I don't know, let's see how that goes. You know, it's working better. I think. Still just getting weirdly bunchy. Is my sewing off here? Let's check something. My sewing is kind of janky. 128 to 1, what the 74 to 70. You know, this is off by quite a lot. I wonder if that... Let's do this. Oh. I know, let me... I can't select it because I'm selecting another sewing line. This is an instance where I really needed to come in and do something for me. So that should match like that. I'm still getting... Why are you so... What do you do? Do I got some sort of weird layer shit going on here? I don't... Why is that being so goofy? Oh, I have it pinned in there. I'm going to take that pin out. Oh, that pin is in the collar? No, you're not supposed to be in the collar. You're supposed to be pinned to the avatar. Wow, wow, wow. Tack. Edit, tack. Die, tack, die. Yeah, you just don't want to lay down flat, do you? Do I have anything strange like an inflation going on in there? Oh, you know what? I've got this additional thickness in here. Let's dial that back. You just don't want to. Where's my fold? Yeah, that helps a little bit. Except I don't want 180. So are these good now? Those are good. So I want. I never can tell. Let's try 300. 300 is better. I think I'm getting there. I think if I unstrengthen you, probably close enough. I might just smooth that out in the blender. And then what I want to do is I actually want to tack on avatar from here to the back of the neck. Actually, I think I want to do that a little bit higher. Let's try that. See if we can get it to pull up into there. And if that'll... It doesn't, it really doesn't want to do that, does it? Yeah, it's really hating that. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to let it fall where it may. That'll be fine. Okay, I think now we can get the vest back in here. Activate. And make it visible. Does that have a layer on it? I'm going to give it a layer. So it's going to want to sit on top of everything. Oh. Except it's crawling underneath the... Let's give it another... Did I not set... You don't do 100, do you? That's better. My vest just keeps dropping off the shoulders. There it is. Let's just set everything to 0. You're just not staying in place, are you? That's too. I want you right in there, actually. That good? I think so. Is my Yeah, my vest is pulled around the back. Maybe I just need to add some more in here. We'll try that. Maybe add a little more here and pull a little. We'll see how this goes. So if I do that, let's just double check gravity. I thought I had gravity set at minus 9,800. I do, but set at regular gravity. And actually, so we're going to start setting up our material zones. I hit add. Come on, do something. There we go. I'm just going to call you. Actually, I have a material for the vest set up. So vest is just going to be vest and vest trim. Station you. Let's find a material. Did I? Oh no, I deleted it. Let's not do that. Let's take a look at our fabrics and set something up for the vest. Maybe we'll do this. We'll use the Muslim. Looks like it's got a little bit of body to it. Yeah, I can't get that under the collar right now. Maybe I'll just move the collar up. Oh, you know what? I did want to put a spacer in there. All right, let's think about connecting. I'm going to set up the trim, and then I think I'm going to set up a little connection that'll just pull the front together. I think Sinbad was using that in one of the movies in the Golden Voyage that we were looking at. And there's you still don't want to really, you really don't want to come around front, do you? That back just keeps pulling the front. That's about where I wanted it. See, that's doing better now. All right, let's go ahead and trim up the vest, and then we'll connect. So do that. I think I'm going to merge the back together. We'll do that. All right, now we're just going to, I'm going to actually put a little bit thicker than what I normally would do through here. And then I'll just put thin ones on here and here on the sides. So here so going through here, and up through here, and I keep losing. And then I'll loop through here. So let's offset as an internal line. I'm going to say that 10. Or do I want to do a little bit more than that? You know, maybe 20 on that. I'll make a real decorative element out of that. Say okay to that. And then cut and sew all of that. And then I want a little bit here and a little bit. Actually, let's do the armholes. And we'll just do a thin little seam on those. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, right click. Offset as an internal line. So we're just going to put 5s back on those. Cut and sew those. And I want a little seam there and a little seam there. Okay to that. Cut and sew those. So that's all the trim. Let's give you a color. Okay, so the vest's kind of set up. And then what I want to do is I'll have I'll call it claps for now. I don't know what I'm going to put some sort of weird little detail. I think I'm going to sew from here to here. I'm just going to move these out of the way for a second. So let's just put a little, let's say 50 on that, maybe 20 on this. And I'll just put some sort of texture and displacement detail in here. And do I want to just sew it at the bottom? You know what? Let's just sew it at the bottom and see how that looks. I'll just put that there, and we'll run that in there. And we'll put this over in here. And I'm just gonna, we'll just add a Material Vest clasp. I'm probably gonna run it up so it's somewhere up in here eventually, but for right now, put you there. And we put you there. And listen to me the second time. And we give you a color. And we'll see how this goes. Yeah, of course you got flipped around goofy. That's just what you do, right? All right, let's see if I can fix this. Let's put a layer on here and see if it'll just force the other part of the vest under it. If I can get you to touch, and then maybe it'll want to crawl up on you, get you underneath. You just really don't want to be underneath that, do you? You're totally saying fuck you. I can't believe it. Let's try it this way. There we go. And my vest is falling down in the back again. Maybe I just need to make it shorter so it doesn't really hit the sash. I think I might do that. Yeah, let's put you back. Just grab all of this and head north with it. Oh, for crying out loud, these angles aren't moving. Oh, how lame. How fucking lame is that? Can I just convert you to the regular? Convert. I didn't want to do that. Oh, that seemed to be okay. Okay, now can I do this? It may smooth out a little bit when I reactivate the shirt. Let's unfreeze everything except for the ankles. Or actually, it's the calves or the shins. I don't know, something. Oh, you know when I said unfreeze, I actually should have unfroze everything. That would have made a difference. And then I'm going to refreeze. And here, let's do a save here. Because I'm about to break things again. Oh, I've lost what I can't find anything. There it is. I think they slid it in. Oh, and the damn sleeve slid down. You know what? I think the vest is looking about right, finally. I have to set that up to be undone, though. So I need little strips on one side that I can delete and then have it fall apart. I'll probably, you know what, I'll probably just go in and strip out a little edge in here. So let's make sure there's a little edge in there to be stripped out. I don't necessarily have to change the name of it to be its own separate zone in this case. So here we'll just offset as an internal line. I'm just going to say 2, so it's a really small strip of polys in here. So when I want to make a version of the vest that'll come apart, I can just delete those, and then whatever I have on here is my clasp can run free. And everything else is slash. I thought I had you. I do have you do a really fine. I think I'm getting close. I've got some bunchiness here. I want to take the. I think I want to try to pull the waist down a little bit. So we're going to hide the sash for a bit. I'll try to get my waistband down by maybe an inch or two. So here, we'll deactivate the pattern and sewing on that. Hide that. What I'm going to try to do is get this down to here. Nothing's moving. Are you still acting like you've got stuff on top of you? It's just crawling into the waistband. I'm gonna, you know what, I'm gonna hide these. They're still active. And what I really want is I really want this. So I think we just need to make this a little wider. And then maybe adjust the pants width a little bit. We'll see how this goes. So we're just gonna pull this out till it sets down on the hips a little more. I have a feel like I went the wrong way with this previously. Can I just get rid of you? Will that work? I think so. And then maybe we can just make you out a little longer, like so. And then when I do this, am I getting any? I think maybe I need to make the shirt a little bit longer too. I'm probably going to resew these up. Let's get rid of that. You've outlived your usefulness. Let's see how this goes. Put my cursor in here to act as a guide. Kind of see where it was. No, it's still in the same place. Can I get you to go down a little further? You're still a little. You need to be maybe a little bit smaller, a little bit larger to slide down a little bit more. And where are we at right now? We're almost at 400. Let's see how that works. We've added another 40 millimeters. You just don't want to. You're floating around. It's like my gravity is all janked up. I have gravity. Let's switch over to accurate and see if that makes a difference. I've got all that slop in there and it's not. You know what? I'm just going to deactivate the pants totally. Or the legs of the pants. Right now they're just hidden. See, that makes a difference. Oh, you know what it is? This is probably too tight in here now. All right, so let's take some measurements and rejigger. So I'm getting you to fall a little bit further down. And now I think I'm just bouncing off of. I'm thinking that's a little bit better. But the thing is, now we have like 417.5, and these are probably 417.8. It's the same. You know what? Let's add a little extra space in here. I'm going to drag this to match that. So that is, and then we're just, you know what? Let's just give you a little bit more room. I'm purposely going to make this a little bit larger than the waist. I want a target number here. My target number is, you know what? I want that to add a little bit more than that. Let's take you to about 240. Right about in there. Let's pull you this one out to 240. I'm just going to put a split in the middle here. And then we'll just sew. Well, you know what? I am sewed up already. Never mind. I'm starting to get slow. This is the painful part of Marvelous Designer when it starts getting really slow like this. And it usually happens. And then, goddamn vest is falling backwards again. How do I keep that from sliding like that? Is it just weight? And there's just like no friction stopping it? There should be plenty of friction in there. It's like it just slides along the glide surface. And it's like the stupid cloth is offering no friction to have it hang better. That's so frustrating. Because what it is more material in the back. And I think what's happening is at that point, it then just pulls, and then there's like not enough friction up in here to just stop it. And it's probably, you know what? It's probably because of the silk material. Can I change the friction on that? I'm going to crank the friction on that up. So it's a Duchess satin. I got it so it's kind of floppy. Let's see if we can come down into the details, and we'll hunt down where the friction is on this. somewhere in here, and we'll crank that puppy up. It has no weight. It's got almost no thickness. It has almost no friction. You know what? I'm just going to crank that friction up. I think that's what's been frustrating me. Okay, now let's see if I can just pull. And get it to stay in place a little bit better this time. You know what? I think eventually I'll get that to work. And now, what was I doing? I was trying to bring the pants back into play. So activate, make visible. I'm gonna want to treat that crotch. I like that. I'm getting some nice wrinkles up in the top now. Let's see where we are. Where am I? I can't see my line. I think I want to bring this up. See how that goes. I think that'll be good. And I think it's time to bring the sash back in. All right, let's freeze the waistband. And then I'm going to try to get these up to stick up a little bit higher still. And then that'll determine where my boots go. Then I can bring the sash back in and get it replaced on top of everything. Okay, so that is my anchor. I only had half of it selected. Of course I did. There. Okay, you guys have just gone. I should make my avatar a little stickier. And I think I need to make these a little bit shorter now. All right, we're going to tweak the friction on the. Well, right now I've got the friction set to 0. That's why everything is sliding around like a son of a bee. Now if I do this, you know what? That's going to work out better. Although the bottoms are now too long. We'll take those up. Let's see how that looks. And the easiest way to get to match these is to delete half of it and then just recopy this over. Once I have this in a spot I like, I think my legs are still too long. So we'll take a little bit more out of those. I think that's good. All right, let's freeze that into place. And then we'll build the boots to fit around that. And then what I'm going to do, instead of screwing around with that, we'll just delete that half and reduplicate. Right? Let's get you all on your side of the line. Let's rearrange you into here a little bit. And you know what? We'll tweak these. And then we'll Control D and put you right about there. I think I can smooth this out just a little bit. What do we got going on here? Yeah, I think I can do that. And I'm going to tweak you. I want you to be 90. Come on, be 90 for me. That's probably going to be good enough. Let's see how that makes a little bit better shape in here. A little bit. I probably should take something and stick it in between the legs to keep those from running into each other so poorly. Anyhow, that is looking good there. Let's move on to getting the sash back in. My collar, of course, has gone completely goofy. I'm totally going to put a little strip in between to raise it up a bit. Okay, sash. You know what's bothering me is that little piece just hanging there on my pattern. And that's just purely aesthetics. Although it'll come in handy when tweaking the UVs. So I'm just going to spend a little bit of time just aligning these stuff up till they look a little nicer. Is good. Alrighty. Take that. Activate. Make visible. I'm going to put a layer on that. It's 10, so it's going to want to all sit on top. We're going to do that. It's going to be pulled down because this seam needs to sit down there. Why are you not going where you're supposed to go? Let's stop this. Let's grab these guys. Move it out. Are you not sewn in anymore? You're not sewn in anymore. You're supposed to be sewn to this. I probably need to make these wider now, don't I? What is my measurement on this? It's 380. What is my measurement on this? It's 417. We're going to add 4 clicks onto these. We'll add another 40 millimeters on here. 1, 2. I saw it. 3. You paused. 4. There we go. What are you sewn to? You totally think you're still sewn to there. Why am I not seeing... Why am I not seeing that in here, though? Are you sewn to the back? Is that what my problem is? I'm just going to re-sew you in. You're in the wrong... I've got the wrong piece over here. That's my problem. Yeah, I didn't mean to move you. Yes, I did. What are you doing? Why are you sewn over there? What the hell? Oh, you know, I didn't drag you out, did I? That's what it was. And you're not sewn in. You're supposed to be sewn into here, right? Yep, okay, let's see. Are you sewn in? You look like you're sewn in still. I don't know, let's see how this goes. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hide this stuff while I work on getting this part in, and then we'll come back. I'm going to focus on just getting... Oh, I need to hide those. Let's put that back. These are in the middle. Let's put you down here so you make more sense. All right, now we can focus on just getting this. This to sit in right. I think I need to make the sash maybe a little bit longer. I don't know if it's going to creep up the butt like that. It does get kind of bunched up in here. It's supposed to do that. I don't know. I think that might work. And then I kind of want you to a little bit lower so you're a little more bunchier. Although that might be okay. And then we can try to bring this all back. I've got the wrong tool. Activate and make visible. Okay, and now I'm still... My vest is close. It's gone back to hanging too far in the back. Maybe I just need to pull these. You know what I tend to do is I tend to angle so you can see it in the shirt. I got it angles from the back, so I think maybe I just need to do that with the vest. Pull this up and pull these down. And I think mostly it's pull these down. So we'll just count off 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. Maybe rerun it like that. And maybe it won't hurt to make the vest a little bit longer. I don't want it going over the sash, but right at the sash would be kind of nice maybe. And I think maybe I'm going to pull that corner down just a pinch. Did you? This point was lined up with that point, and yet I did not select it. Go figure. All right, a little bit further, maybe 2 or 3 nudges on the old magic nudger. And I missed one edge. All right, see all our points. I have selected around all our points. We are clicking 1, 2. I think that's going to be good. I think I'm close. Now I just got to get that collar to not look like shite. And these have gone. I'm going to work on this again. I think I've got friction on there though. It should hold better this time. Now it just rolled around on it. So, oh, I had it. Right in there. Because now you're pinched on something. You're so close. You fool. Why are you not settling out nicer? It's so close, but it won't get this. It's insisting on doing this little goofy shape here. Okay, when in doubt, we're going to just freeze the whole kit and caboodle. And then I can... So I've got decent line on the back. I'm going to tweak the... Here, let's put back to the default settings and see if that helps. Well, that's not actually the default setting. And where are you? Oh, you're over there. Yay. Okay. Do that. See if I can get the simulate. Let's tweak that to be smaller. There we go. Got it. Excellent. I'm going to do that. I'm going to delete this one. Just going to be easier to do it this way. I'm going to unfreeze you. I'm going to take you and Control D and bring that over here. And then let that settle into the cuff in the position I want it. Okay, I think we're good. We're getting there. So now I just have to get that collar to not look like shite. So let's just play with this. Oh, I said I wanted to add a little riser piece in there, so that might help. So what I want to do is I want to just measure this 202.8. And I'm going to just make a thin little strip that we're just going to put in between here and here at 202.8. I'm going to do, where does it run? Going to kind of run up and around and down. And that runs this side here, 202.8. So let's say 202.8, and let's say 5. 5 right there. Say okay to that. And I'm going to just delete the sewings here. And I'm just going to sew that into here. And let's pull you. You kind of be in here. I'm just going to stick the collar up above that. Okay, now we'll attach this into here. So I think kind of go around like here. And then that gets sewn into there. And then this continues over here and down to here. And the vest is in the way. So let's get the vest out of the way. I might just need to make that vest wider. All right, now let's try that. I should probably dupe that to the other side first. We're going to do that. Also, I'm going to flip the normals on that. And I'm not sure, where are you? You're there, excellent. So then we'll just attach a little sew on the very back like that. Let's see how this goes. And I'm going to try to set those fold angles to be like 90s or something to get the collar to fit better. I think maybe what I'm going to do is we're going to hide the collar and get these to stand, and then we'll bring the collar in. Right. And there's this angle right in here. I'm going to try to set that to 90 to try to get those to kind of stand straight up. So that right in there. So right now it's 180. I'm hoping, actually it might be 270. Let's see. It's not strong enough. Let's tweak the strength on those. Let's switch the fold strength to 100. And then see. Are you not going anywhere? Seriously? The back worked. It's acting as if, do I have to, is this side different? So that's the long tail, 270 by 100. It's not really doing anything. See, it works up to a point, and then it isn't. Seriously? Wait, you seriously telling me that those were 270, but these need to be 90? Come on, man. That is some janky ass shit. It seems they're side by side. No wonder I can't figure out this frickin' program. That needs to be 270. That needs to be 90. Why? I don't know. It's because it just randomly. There we go. Now I finally got it. So that's what I wanted that to look like. That's the stuff that'll drive you insane. That and a pelvic thrust. All right, I think that's good. We're going to freeze. We're going to lock those down with a freeze. Get the collar back in here. Activate that. Do this. So now we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to set these either 270 or 90. I'll just arbitrarily choose 270 to begin with. It went the other way. So we totally wanted to do 90. There we go. You know what? That actually works. Now if you can just get the vest in here. I may want to make that sharper. I may just live with that. All right, where's the frickin'... Where's that asshole vest? Okay, let's just do that. Now see if we can get the vest in here. I might want to pull this even wider. This drives me crazy. In order to deactivate it, I have to activate it because it was frozen. Now the idea is to try to get the vest to line up just on the other side of the collar holders. Yeah, I know you can line up properly. You just don't want to because you don't like me. Real close. Idea is just to kind of get this to sit on the other side of the collar holder. So I think maybe I just need to pull these out just a hair. And I missed a point, despite the fact I clearly marqueed all the way around these. And maybe just a little bit wider. Let's try this. You know what I think it is? They're just being blocked, aren't they? Let's try that. I think that's going to be good. I'm optimistic. How are we looking right in the back? I think I can just get the collar over on top of this now. Maybe I can tweak the collar to fit a little bit better. Okay, let's stop this. Let's give this a good save. I think I might do is just pull this up a little. This is all frozen. I'm going to hide the vest. We're going to tweak the shirt just a little bit. I, of course, clicked and lost everything I had selected. There we go. Do that. So what I'm wanting to do is try to get the back of this up. So I think what we're going to do is we'll try to pull this seam down a little bit, pull that seam up, and then I'll just have to readjust the sewing in the sleeves a little. And we'll readjust the sewing on this. So, you go that way. You two can go this way. Maybe one more. And maybe bring you down one. And we'll just unfreeze. Do that. Oh, I have to tweak the, so we need to adjust the sewing on the sleeves. Because that is uneven. Actually, is it supposed to be bunchy? I think it's supposed to be a little bunchy. Because that is 274 to 205. That is 275 to 241. I think I want to adjust this just a little this way. And we'll bring this one back a little this way. And then I need to tweak the collar thing just a little bit. Oh no, you're still good there. You need to be adjusted. So I just need to I think I need to just pull you down. Yeah, you just need to pull down just a hair like that. All right, let's see how that's, see if the neck stays up better this time. If not, we'll try to slide the that seam forward a little bit more. That's looking a little better. That's looking a lot better, actually. I should have fixed that long ago. All right, let's get the collar back. Can I move you like that? I can't. Nope. I think we're ready to put the vest back in. And I think I'm going to tweak. I don't know. I should take a look at how that collar looks. Let's go watch Sinbad. We're going to run over to Tubi. I'll do that on screen too. Tubi. And I got my cap lock on. Let's turn that off. Let's come over here. Zorro. 1974 seasons. Wow. I never saw that. Sinbad, but we are watching The Golden Voyage of Sinbad is my guiding light here. I want a turban like that. That's, is that kind of like a, I have to watch some turban tying videos and see if I can find one that does a turban like that. I think it wraps up and over, and I don't know. I really don't know. Anyhow, you know what? That point, I can probably. So I'm coming in. I'm coming in like this. I might just take this point and run it back a little bit. And also maybe we just run the whole thing down a little bit further. I think I'll do that. I think we'll pull it down a little further. Well, a lot further. And I'll smooth that. I'll bring that point out. And we'll narrow this down a little bit. Or do I want to just stick with that? No, I do want to make the shape a little bit different. So I think I'm going to bring you down, let's say 30. 1, 2, 3. And he said 30, but went 40. And then you're just going to adjust that to there. And then I want to pull this out. So this now needs to be, right? My length target is now 242.8. So in here, we'll just change length 242.8, like so. I want to tweak that a little, kind of like that. Let's make you active again. Let's see how we're looking now. All right, I'm going to move you up into there. Adjust this. Adjust that. Maybe a little narrower in the back. I like that. I think that looks nice. I'm much happier with the back of the collar now, too. That looks so much better. All right, let's get the vest on. I may do my riser up a little bit further. We'll see. Doesn't hurt. I can always pull it back later. What if we just do 15 for now? That went kind of wonky, didn't it? Oh, but it's falling back into shape nicely. What a pleasant surprise. It's a little goofy right in there. Now it's good. You know what? That might be okay. I can always just smooth this out a little bit too. That might be a good idea. Just grab this point and drag it and then adjust the sewing on there. And I might tweak this angle to be a little harsher, but we'll see. It's probably good. I'm going to try to maybe flatten that out to maybe 45. Can I get away with that? Yeah, I think that's going to be fine. Maybe I can pull. Can I just pull you? All right, let's get the vest in here. Stop that, do this. I'm just going to lift you up. So at this point, I'm hoping the vest is underneath, or it isn't sitting right underneath those seams. Activate. Oops. Shift Q to make visible. So ours is, yeah, we're in good shape here, I think. Although my vest crawled underneath the shirt over here. Damn it, I hate it when that happens. Here, let me make... I'm going to make that like a negative layer, so it's going to want to come underneath. We can just find our layer. There we go. Say like -10. And then I'll do that. And hopefully this will want to be on top. Yay! Okay, and then we'll stop. And we'll take the layers off of everything again. That's not layer. That's layer. There we go. And we'll do that, and we'll see. You came apart. How come you came apart? Are you still... It's that craptastic selection tool again. And you're going to be on the inside now. I knew it. I just knew it. Let's put you on the outside. All right, I think I'm close. Let's hit a save here. I'm going to unfreeze everything except for the goddamn wrist slid down again. Because I accidentally brought them back to life. And of course they headed straight for the hands. Okay. Okay, I think that... Nope, you're goofy on the backside now. It's like I fixed one part and then the other side is gone weird. All right, I think... Are we good? Probably not. So I look underneath it, it'll probably look... You know what? You're good. We're going to go tweak you. I accidentally deactivated it. How can I reactivate? Activate. Why don't you just make a nice, neat shape? Come on. Are you my nice, neat shape? Of course you're not. Of course you've got a goofy spot still left in you. You know what? I'm just going to fix it in Blender. And you keep... All right, I think I'm almost there. I'm about ready to start chopping it up. We're running close to 4 o'clock here, though. So I'm going to end up moving you in here. So I think maybe Monday we'll still be working on Sinbad. The Safari outfit. Only thing I need to do is make promos, and I'm going to adjust some weight maps on the legs, even though it's a D-Force item, just so it looks a little nicer when you pose it before you simulate. Or if I, or you can maybe in some cases get away without even simulating. I think this is in the ballpark though. We'll see how this goes. What did I want to do? I want to simulate everything except we're just going to keep the legs and the arms locked down. So we'll Control A. We still have to assign all our materials and chop up our trims. So maybe on Monday we'll be back on this and we'll maybe be getting it over into Daz Studio. We'll see. And if I'm still not really happy with the vest, it may be a Sinbad outfit with no vest. That's our alternate plan here. All right, simulation is off. We're going to undo all of that. We're just going to pop in here. I'm going to freeze my anchor points, which is the waist and the wrists and the ankles, or the shins in this case. So all of that is just going to stay frozen. So you kind of want to pin all of that in place. Then we just do this. Let it settle a little bit. You could probably stand to be a little more this way. I think we're good. I'm going to add a little bit more offset thickness to that for collision purposes, just to get them to set off, just to get them to float off of everything a little bit more. So I have made those the obnoxious 15. I probably need to tweak that. That's probably was too much. We'll go back to, we'll try 8. So Tuesday, maybe texturing this. We'll see. What do we need? We still need boots. We still need a turban. And I still want to make a sword. I may or may not. I may lose the turban. We definitely need boots, though. Anyhow, you know what? I'm going to call it here a little short for today. I think I'm in good shape with this outfit at this point. Next step is to get it fitted. Well, we still have to sign materials and chop up all our trims, right? And rearrange our... I want this all on one map. Boots get a separate map. Sword and scabbard get a map. And turban gets its own map. Anyhow, let's hit save on that. Thank you all for being here. We will be back tonight. It is Saturday, 8 p.m. for the Saturday Night Social. It's a little bit of an art share. It's a cartoon. It's a Discord chat. So feel free to join if you haven't already. If you want to join in and share, feel free to post stuff into the Discord. Somebody hit the cap block again. And if you're on YouTube, thanks. Like and subscribe. That would be awesome. If you're on Twitch, stick around. We'll see if we can find somebody to go raid. I've got 2 viewers, it says. That's okay. We'll take these, me and somebody else to another person on Twitch. Who's on Twitch right now? Taddy usually does Saturdays. Taddy's always a good choice to say hi to. Taddy usually does Saturdays. Taddy's always a good choice. Oh, my friend Supreme Doom has been doing her partner push. Tatty is on. Yeah, let me just do a shout out for Supreme Doom though. I know not a lot of people here, but we'll just do this anyhow. Supreme Doom is doing her partner push. If you haven't already followed, and I highly recommend you go check her out. She's a marvelous craft streamer. Her and her crafty collective are a whole bunch of cool people. She recently realized that she was getting around 75 or 70, more than 75 viewers kind of regularly. So she thought she would just kind of turn that into a partner push. So I highly recommend it. Check her out. If you like it, come back and hang out. It's wonderful. She's a wonderful person, even though she's Canadian. And yeah, check out Supreme Doom. But we're going to go over and say hi to Taddy, our good friend Taddy Bidet, who is probably doing art, I want to say. He's playing Paper Mario today, so that's fine. So if you can stick around, that would be cool. We've got the raid calls. If you're not a subscriber, feel free to use that. If you are a subscriber, you get to use the sub raid call. There we go. And once again, we will be back tonight at 8 p.m. Saturday Night Social, our shared Discord chat. It's an old cartoon. Feel free to join us then. And let's do this. So if you're on Twitch, please join the raid. YouTube, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. But unfortunately, you can't join a Twitch raid. It's the rules. It's the law. YouTube won't let you. I'm going to copy. I can almost spell Taddy Bidet without having to copy and paste it. But we're going to copy and paste anyhow. I think that started my raid. I can't see it because this stupid thing put some sort of message in front of it. Hey, copy a clip. No, I want a fucking raid, you stupid, ignorant slut. Let me refresh that and see if my raid thing is up and running. I don't see my raid. Did I not start the raid? I see the raid now. It's just, god damn it. How do I get rid of that? I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to hope that the raid's counting down. Because I can't see it. What's over here? Stupid fucking Twitch insists on putting other shit at the top of chat, so I can't see the raid countdown anymore. I did type in the raid command, didn't I? Maybe not. Let's try this again. Slash raid Taddy Bidet. See, that's why I don't type. Did that work? Taddy's raid settings do not allow you to raid at this time. Damn that, Taddy. Let's go say hi to, Supreme Doom then. I'm gonna go over and say hi to Taddy anyhow, but we're gonna have to raid Supreme Doom. And I lost her because I, flipped off her channel. Not flipped off, but, you know. Anyhow, let's redo this. C slash raid control V. That was not a control V. That was a control V. There we go. We're going to go say hi to our good friend Supreme Doom and her crafty collective today. Grab the appropriate raid call. Copy that. One viewer is ready to raid. Excellent. You know what? I'm just going to raid now with one viewer.